Hello and welcome to the Women's Network. I'm Elke and I'm your host. And I can promise you a terrific, exciting and great show today. We will go to the world of sports. Now we all have some sport in us. Some people like to run, some people like to play ball, some people start one day and finish the next day. In my case, I like to run, and at this point, it's like once a week instead of once a day. But then there is the other group who starts in a certain sport and just never stops until they have achieved the highest goal there is, have gone to the greatest places, and there's no stopping to them, and literally achieve gold, silver, bronze, and you name it. And with that, I have invited three wonderful, wonderful women who have been in the world of sports to such a degree that they literally did take home silver and gold. So with that in mind, please help me welcome my guests. And I have with me Dr. Kathy Ferguson. Hello, nice to meet you. It's so much fun to have you here. I've been thinking about Olympians for such a long time, and I really feel lucky. Kathy, why don't you tell the audience just a little bit about maybe your beginnings, just about 30 seconds worth, so that they know who you are and where you came from.
Well, I began swimming as a very young woman of 10 years old at Burbank, the Burbank YMCA to be exact. And it was the days when we wore those crazy bathing suits that had skirts all on them that weighed about 200 pounds as you dove in the water. And fortunately, because my mother worked at the YMCA, they allowed me to participate on their swim team. I don't think I was very good at the time. And I was very fortunate to have a good coach and someone who really worked with me and then said, it's time for you to go on. And at that point in time, I went to the LA Athletic Club, trained with a man by the name of Peter Dalen, who was the SC coach for many, many years. And through his tutelage, went on and was very fortunate to go to the 1964 Olympic Games and be able to stand on that first place podium. That's kind
and
of
the rest is history.
How I started,
yeah.
Yes.
Wonderful, incredible. My next guest is Marilyn White. She brought home a silver medal. She went to Tokyo as well, and again, the rest is history. Marilyn, so nice to have you here.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Why don't you tell the audience just a little bit about your first beginnings in your sport?
Well, I started track and field by accident, actually. I was in a dance class, and I was pointed out by a gentleman who was there, who had asked the teacher who the girl with the big legs was. And that was me. The first day on the track, I found out I couldn't even run all the way around. I stopped and I walked and I cried and I said, I don't want to do this. But the coach convinced me that I could do it if I wanted to. And my father was really proud of me, so I decided that I did want to. I worked very hard, and I beat Wilma Rudolph, and that in itself is still awesome for me.
That is awesome, yes, yes.
As I understand it, I'm the only woman who ever did beat her, and
that's
in a
a
way,
medal in
I'm really
itself.
sorry because she was my idol.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, okay, we'll talk about it a little later. And my third guest is Inga Miller. She also came home with a medal, a gold medal in track and field, 4 times 100 meter relay. And let me introduce you to my audience.
Thank you.
Inga, nice
Thank
to
you.
have you here.
Thank you. Well, for me, track and field runs in my family. So not that I didn't start early. I didn't start running seriously until my sophomore year in high school. My father, who ran also, never pushed me. He figured that I would come upon it myself. So I started running in high school, took it to college, and then my father started coaching me after college, and that's when I think the real Olympic dream came, and I decided that, you know, I really need to go for it and I can be in the Olympics.
I tell all three of you, I am sitting here with such excitement to be around members of the Olympic teams who have not that everybody that just goes to the Olympics is not a sports person to the highest degree, but to bring home something, to bring home that medal. What does it feel like to have that medal or to stand on that podium and to, I mean, there's so many questions to compete, so let's just take one at a time. I mean, what does it take to get there, first of all?
Well, I guess if we all sat here, we could all think of a million things.
Yeah.
What I always say is, I have 3 words that I always use. It's desire, drive, and dedication. And I think that sums it up. I mean, you have to have a want, and then you have to have a drive to fuel that want, and then the dedication cements it all. So I think that completes it. I mean, we could be here all day talking about what it took to get to that point, but a lot of work.
Yeah, I kind of think it's interesting that you pick 3 things. I don't know what you end up picking, Melon, but kind of the 3 words that stand out for me is that I think that you have to have a dream, and I think you have to build your team and be together with people that want you to succeed and that are helping you to succeed.
Exactly.
And then I think you have to believe wholeheartedly in the mission that you've set out for yourself, and you need to believe in the people that are going to help you to achieve those goals.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
For me, it's a matter of faith.
Faith.
I had to believe in myself and my ability to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. I had to believe that my coach wanted the best for me and that my parents and my family would support me. So it's definitely a matter of belief.
Yeah.
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 Well, also there has to be that particular person, or maybe you yourself, to point out, God, there's something I like, I want to continue, I feel good with, I feel, you know, that one person maybe to point out, Jesus, you're a great swimmer. I think you should continue, or, you know, track and field or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, when you say having a faith, I think about that, because my father is my coach now, and I have complete faith in that he not only has the ability to coach me, but that he wants the best for me, and I believe in his philosophy. And that is what troubled me, I think, even from high school to college, and I had injury after injury. I didn't have faith in what I was doing and who was helping me and the people that were around me, that they really wanted the best for me. And I think it took last year, I mean, I did this within a year. It took having faith and believing in me and having the confidence in not only myself, because it took a while to build the confidence, but having confidence in my team, my support group, you know, and having faith in that. That's a big thing, I think.
Very definitely.
Also, I think in your case, having your father as your coach, or your family being very sports.
I don't know.
Well, you know, it's kind of funny. Everybody says that. Well, everybody says that, but you know, I live at home with him, and he coaches me, and it works well.
Enough of him?
Well, you know, when I'm at home, I don't really see him that much. It's kind of funny. You know, he has his practice. He's off. He's doing his own thing, and I'm doing my own thing. I'm so busy. So most of the time, our relationship is just a track and field relationship. So a coach and athlete relationship, and he doesn't normally bring the father and daughter relationship to the track, or the coach and athlete to home. So it works really well. It does.
You know, that's kind of interesting too, because my daughter right now is 5th in the nation in diving. And the person she really wants to talk to most of the time is me. And I try to stay really out of the coaching element of it. But I know that some of the things that I learned in the process, and I think that that is the key to the whole thing. Yes, the gold medal here is the gold medal, and I can look at it from now until eternity. But what I really learned was the process. And that is what I take with me throughout my life. And what I think is my mission is to share how people can do things that they never thought they could do if they will only follow the process. So I think that's a key element. And my daughter really and I sit and talk for a long time. How do you mentally picture Mom? Okay, this is what, you know, and when she gets down in the dumps, you know, and she has a bad dive, you know, she'll come over and I'll say, come on now, you're focusing on what you just did. We need to focus on what you're going to do next. And I think that that's something I can be really strong about.
Well, Cassie, let's focus a little bit on the pictures you brought along.
Okay.
So maybe you can set them up, and then while we see the pictures, you can a little bit narrate.
Okay.
Okay, we are ready.
Alrighty.
Our
Well, this picture was taken right after the Olympic Games in Tokyo, and it was taken for the Burbank YMCA, who had kind of somewhat dedicated the swimming pool. It was a little 20-yard, 4-lane pool, still is. I was still up back there, and the picture is still hanging in the aquatics area. So it was a really proud time, and my parents had the picture taken for me. And those were our warm-ups. And Marilyn has the same year, so we share the same warm-ups.
We sure do.
And it always was kind of funny because if you unzipped the zipper, it almost looked like USSR. We always used to kid each other about that. This was taken at the swimming pool in Japan, which was a fabulous facility. It held about 15,000 spectators. The wall, very up-to-date, current. In fact, the pool could probably be used today for competition.
That's great.
Is this at one of the events? or
It was
is
a
this
practice. We were in there. We did joke around and have a good time. And of course, my specialty was backstroke. And what was unfortunate to a certain degree is that I had set a world's record in the 200-meter backstroke prior to the Olympic Games. But unfortunately for women, they only had 8 swimming events then. And it was the sprint event that was the one that they took the 3. And so I had to sprint, even though the better event was the distance event for backstroke. So.
Yeah, that's a pretty difficult stroke, backstroke.
Well, and it was then too. Now you can roll over and take a peek at the wall. At that point in time, you could not take a look at the wall, so you had no idea. Well, you did. Are you kidding? 4 years, 45 minutes every night. I did back flip turns. So.
And there you are.
Look at you.
And this is a series that Life magazine took, and they were very good and gave it to me afterwards. It was in one of the Life magazine issues, and it took from the time that I actually had the medal put around my neck, all the way to the raising of the American flag and the playing of the national anthem. And I think at that time, when I think back, I looked up there at that flag and I thought to myself, God put me here for some reason. I'm not quite sure what that is, but I know that there's a reason for a skinny little girl from Burbank, California to be standing there.
Wonderful.
And it was quite overwhelming.
I
It was
believe so.
a great moment.
Well, is this, oh, there's another one. And that's the,
That's just the Life magazine shot. And again, it shows Avery Brundage. Some people may remember that name, presenting the awards. It was a fabulous, the Japanese did a wonderful job in being hosts for the Olympic Games. Our every wants were taken care of. For a 16-year-old kid, in that time, in that era, in the 1960s, and I think Marilyn can relate to this, the Russian population was a scary group of people. Most of us had never seen what a Russian looked like. And the Olympic Games brings people together from all nations. It doesn't matter what your language is. Sports speaks universally.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And we made such wonderful friends with each other, so we were very, very lucky.
God, this is absolutely wonderful. Well, again, I'm sitting here and I'm just so in awe of all of you. But let's go back to the question, what does it take to get there? Besides having the athletic ability, I know we have like different ages here. Inga just went to Atlanta and you both went to Tokyo, so that's quite a time span. Now, let's talk about what it takes as far as the financial aspect. I mean, can you just...
We're all still laughing about that
Yeah,
one.
it takes an inordinate amount of money to actually have the time to train, the facilities. At that time, we didn't have anyone to sponsor us. There was no such thing as the training center. And I can remember days when we had to climb the fence at Dorsey High School to get on the track because there was no provision made for the women to practice. And when we got ready to go to the indoor championships, we stood out in front of Boys Market with cans, with tin cans, and we begged for the money. And that's how we got there.
Unbelievable. And I heard Cassie say something about donuts.
Oh,
earlier.
yes. Well, after the Olympic Games, there were no scholarships for women, and I went to Long Beach State, and out of the goodness of some of the women in the PE department who gave their time, were not reimbursed for any of their time, took us to national championships. Well, we sold donuts every morning for weeks on end to be able to raise the money to go to the national championships.
And now I come to Inga, and I'm sure things have changed.
Times have changed. I did receive a scholarship from the University of Southern California, so I did go to school and was able to compete for USC for 4 years. But I mean, even so, there still is a need for development in our sports, in women's sports, because once I finished out of university, we don't really have a professional, like there isn't like football, they can go to NFL if they want to continue to play, or NBA or anything like that. So if I wanted to continue, I still had to work full time. You know, I'm lucky that my coach, I don't have to pay him, he's my father.
Right.
So I'm lucky for that. You know, I don't have a manager I have to pay because he's my godfather who also ran. So I'm very lucky. But for a lot of my friends, it was very difficult before making it, let's say, to the Olympics or trying to get to that point, because there isn't a lot of money if you're not tops in your field. And then how do you become tops in your field if there isn't help in the beginning? So, I mean, I think I'm an exception because I have the support group, and my family, you know, has really been supportive and helped me in that sense. Yeah. But now, yes, there is sponsorship. Nike is my sponsor, so they pay the bills for me so that I can practice and compete. And basically, it's kind of professional with an amateur status.
Right.
What we're trying to do also, and I can share with you just a little bit about the Southern California Olympian Group and the Coral Ibis Foundation. We're working very hard, a group of over 1,000 past Olympic athletes and coaches and managers and so on and so forth are a part of that family, who try to raise money through appearances, through projects, through different programs in order to help and assist elite athletes on their path. And we're really trying to do a very, very good job of raising money to support the athlete, at least in their latter parts of their training. We have some athletes that were living out of their car and they were the top in the world. This shouldn't be happening, and so we're making a stab at trying to make things a little bit better as people come along. We don't have a lot of money to give, but we certainly do make an attempt to do so.
To go forward with it. Yes. I'm sure there are a lot of young athletes around who we will never hear of because of them they haven't had the chance to break through.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, and you know, when you look back, you think, Marilyn, about your mom and my mom. They did not go to work. It was not, the women were in the home, and it really took my mother going to work part-time to be able to pay the bills for me to swim.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a few more pictures, and this time we have Marilyn. Marilyn, maybe you can set us up, or you can narrate over what we see.
I'd be happy to.
Okay. And this is track and field?
Yes.
Okay.
This is the American record that I won in 1963 in the trials for the Pan American Games. And it was amazing that we got there at all, because as I said before, we had to stand out in front of a market and beg for money to get there. We got there and we were the only team without uniforms. We had mixed sweats, but our team won, and we had been coached very well. We didn't have to pay our coach. This is one of the most exciting nights ever for me, and that was the night of January 19th, 1963, 7:05 p.m. That is when I ran against Wilma Rudolph and Jutta Heine of Germany, and I beat Wilma, and I understand that I am the only woman who ever beat her. But it does pain me to have beaten my own idol. It's a very strange feeling. I have mixed feelings about that.
That's nice.
I think she was everybody's idol, all women.
Oh, absolutely.
Her story was magnificent.
This was the finals of the 100 meters in Tokyo, Japan. I came in fourth with the same time as second and third place, and consequently I did not receive a medal for that event. I have always said that that 4x100 meter relay silver medal that I have represents this race as well as the relay. We were so close. All three of us were at 11.6, and I ran an 11.4 in the preliminaries. I'm on the far left side. And unfortunately, I never learned to lean for the tape. I wish I had now.
Yeah. It worked for me.
Absolutely.
Do you do any running now, or any walking, or any?
I ran the torch relay in Atlanta.
Yay.
Yes.
Yay.
This is the diploma that I was given for the second place finish in Tokyo. And it says on there that this is a silver medal performance. Again, when we're back to the track and field, this is always in my mind. And I guess I'm kind of frustrated because I didn't get that medal.
Yeah.
Gold.
Yeah, I'm sure that stays with you.
Yes, it
Yeah.
does. It does. It's something that you don't forget.
I'm there with her.
You
I
learn
missed
for it. But once you've been through
Just
sports,
missed it.
you can do anything in life. Once you've been through sports and you have learned to fight through the pain, to fight through the frustration, to perform upon demand, you can do anything in
You're
life at that
correct. You're
point.
so correct.
I must say, even on a daily basis, let's say I go jogging, and once I'm done with it, all of a sudden I'm in a total different frame of mind.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
can go again, and I mean, not again, but it's like it's
energy
gave
level.
me kind of a new thing.
It's not nervous
Yeah.
feeling, it's
No.
nice, relaxed.
Relax.
Yeah, it feels
Yeah.
great. I just got a signal. We only have 5 minutes. Like I said to you earlier, it goes fast, fast, fast.
Yeah.
But before you run off, I want to see those medals. I have never seen a gold medal. And maybe you can all kind of hold them up and we can take a picture of it from the camera
Oh, I can believe it in my
point of
box.
view.
You can see it.
And then I look at it later. Can the camera pick it up?
No, it's a translation of this.
Maybe you can kind
We'll
of,
just hold them
so it
together.
won't fall out.
I won't fall.
And we have 2 golds.
It's Atlanta.
There's a gold
From Atlanta.
from Atlanta for
There's the gold.
Inger. There's a
Tokyo.
gold from Tokyo for Kathy. And there is a silver for Mel, and also from Tokyo. Oh, God, how wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful. I've always wanted to hold an Oscar, but
Yeah.
this is like your Oscar and much, much more. Wonderful. Well, now we have about 3 minutes. So before we end, I would like for you to tell our audience just a little bit, or give them an idea, or some profound words, what one can do when you feel you have something inside of when you want to go on with your sport, or some profound words that maybe a young person on the street will turn their life around, or a family can see something in their children. Is there anything you can?
Well, I teach 3rd grade, and I teach my children something that I learned in track and field, and that is that you should believe in yourself. You have to be your #1 fan. And if you do that, you can accomplish anything in life. It's just there waiting for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is wonderful.
You have
yes.
to want something. You have to have that dream, as you were saying.
Yeah, your first 3 words were this.
I mean, it's not an easy road. Nothing is easy.
No.
But
And there are a lot of failures.
yeah, there are. I mean,
mean, How many
disappointments
losses
and
do you
adversity.
have to get one of these?
Exactly.
Lots of losses.
So it's not all a bed of roses, but there is a path that everybody takes, and you can direct it in certain ways. And as long as you have that want and that drive for something, you can make your dream come true.
Well, the medal is the absolute crown. And like I said earlier, I mean, just going to the Olympics, just being part of it. I
Exactly.
mean, me as a spectator, I get chills.
Well,
So-
I always end up with, anytime I do a quote or a speech, and I think the Olympic motto really says it all. And the most important thing in the Olympic Games is not to win, but to take part.
To take
Just as the most important thing in life is not the triumph, but the struggle. It is not to have conquered, but to have fought well. And that is what we take with us every day of our lives. I'm sure both these gals, and when I see Inger, she's going to have Marilyn and I and the rest of the Olympian crowd standing there going, you go for it, you go for it, you go for it. And she can turn around and look at us and say, I've given my best.
Well, you're trying out for Sydney.
Yes, I will be.
That means a lot of hard work.
Yeah, I can feel it right now. My body is aching. Yeah, I will be. But between then, I mean, we have so many other championships and things going on before 2000. I mean, we have world championships this summer in Greece. So I have to go through trials for that and everything. So many things for me to do between now and 2000.
One day at a time.
Exactly.
Well, I tell you, you have a lot to look forward to.
Thank you.
And first of all of you, thank you so much for joining me here today. This is just too overwhelming for me to sit with 3 Olympians. It's absolutely incredible. Thank you so much.
Thank
our
you.
pleasure.
It's our
And
pleasure.
you're all going to
Yes.
go on. You will go on. You are in that. I have to quit right now, but I just want to say you are in US. Are you at UC right now?
No,
or-
I'm not. I've already received my degree in biological sciences. So I will go on to veterinary school
Oh, boy.
eventually.
So you're really climbing the ladder.
Yeah.
And Cassie is the president of the Southern California
Right,
Olympic.
and Marketing and Development Director for American Youth Soccer Organization.
And Marilyn will go on teaching.
That's right, I'm a
And
bilingual
I hope
specialist.
you will all watch me again very soon. And as I'm sitting here, I think I will do a follow-up with a lot more about women in the Olympics. Thank you very much to all of you out there, my audience, and to all of you, my guests. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.